It started on a night I wasn't even supposed to be online. You know those nights when your brain refuses to sleep. You end up spiraling down some niche internet rabbit hole? That was me. 3:07 a.m., hunched over my aging laptop, watching YouTube tutorials about retro PC repairs. My old desktop had been gathering dust for years, and I thought maybe, just maybe, I could revive it. The forums I usually visit are quiet, filled with older hobbyists swapping repair tips and nostalgia. It's harmless stuff, people arguing about floppy disks, CRT monitors, that kind of thing. But then one comment caught my eye. It was buried under an old post titled, IBM 486 Boot Loop Fix. Nothing suspicious. The reply was from an account with no profile picture, no post history, no bio. Just a username, 0xvoid. The message was short. If you're still here, try this link. It's where the real archives live. No one had responded to it. It had been there for years. Now I know better. You don't click strange links on ancient forums. That's how you end up with ransomware or a fried hard drive. But curiosity, real, gnawing curiosity, doesn't ask for permission. It just pushes your hand forward. So I hovered over the link. It wasn't a .com or .net, just a string of random characters ending in .org. Weird, but not unheard of. I clicked. For a second, my browser froze. Then the screen flickered, almost like static. An old TV losing signal, and a plain black webpage loaded. White text, no logo, no ads. Just one thread at the top of the page. We know who's reading this. That was the title. I remember staring at it, half amused, half uneasy. Some ARG thing, I figured. There's a whole subculture of puzzle makers online who love this cryptic horror aesthetic. I'd seen stuff like that before. Fake mystery threads that claim to track your IP or know your secrets. But this one felt different. There were no other threads, no forum index, just that single title in bold white letters. When I clicked it, my cursor lagged again. Then the page loaded. Inside was only one post. No username, no date stamp, no replies, just text. Stop scrolling. Underneath it, a single black timer counting down from 5 minutes. I thought it was a joke, some sort of psychological trick to make me wait, expecting a jump scare or a reveal. But my eyes stayed glued to that timer as it ticked down. 4:58, 4:57. And then I noticed something. Right above the timer, in faint gray text, a new line appeared. Your webcam is on. I froze. My hand shot to the top of the laptop. The little green light beside the camera was glowing. That's impossible, I thought. I hadn't opened Zoom or Discord or anything that could trigger it. I scrambled to cover it with my thumb, heart pounding. The timer kept ticking. 4:03, 4:02. I tried closing the tab, but the browser refused to respond. The X button wouldn't click. I even tried killing the process through Task Manager. Nothing. My cursor kept moving sluggishly, like someone else was controlling it. Then, new text appeared beneath the timer. You shouldn't have clicked. Every instinct screamed to shut the laptop, throw it, do something. But I couldn't look away. I felt that primal pull, like I was witnessing something forbidden, something that was watching back. The timer reached 0. Everything went black for a second. My screen flickered again, and the forum homepage reappeared. The title had changed. Now it read, "Welcome back, my name." Except I had never typed my name anywhere on that site. I slammed the lid shut. For a few seconds, all I could hear was my own breathing, shallow and fast. Then quietly, almost politely, the laptop dinged as if receiving a new notification. I opened it again. One new message blinked at the top of the page. "We'll be in touch." And then, before I could even think, the page refreshed itself, blank, white, empty, like it had never been there at all. But when I looked at the top corner of my screen, the green light was still on, still watching, still recording. And that's when I realized something on that site had recognized me long before I'd ever found it. I didn't sleep that night. I told myself it was nothing, just some elaborate prank site, some freak coincidence. But that message, "Welcome back, my name," kept replaying in my mind like a corrupted audio file. By morning, I convinced myself to investigate it again. That was my first mistake. When I tried reopening the link for my browser history, it was gone, completely wiped. Not just the URL, the entry itself. Every other site I'd visited that night was there, but not that one. So, I started searching. I tried everything. We know who's reading this site. 0xVoid forum. Hacker countdown page. Google, Bing, even DuckDuckGo, nothing. It wasn't indexed anywhere. Then I remembered something. That first link from the old IBM Repair forum. It hadn't been clickable text. It was a broken hyperlink. A fragment. I went back, copied the partial string, and manually rebuilt it. My browser hesitated when I hit enter, like it was resisting the connection. Then, the same black screen appeared. No ads, no navigation bar, just that plain, sterile background. Only this time, there were multiple threads. Each one had a date as its title. Not just random timestamps, specific ones. Like, October 12th, 2025, 9:14 p.m., suburban power outage. June 2nd, 2024, Highway 79 collision, 3 dead. August 7th, 2023, East River flooding. Some of those dates hadn't happened yet. Others had. At first, I thought it was some kind of ARG-style storytelling forum. You know, people writing fate predictions for immersion. But when I clicked one at random, it wasn't written like a story. It was a list. A log. Names, locations, exact times. And worse, photographs. Grainy, low-resolution shots that looked pulled from security cameras, doorbell footage, traffic cams, sometimes even selfies. Every thread followed the same pattern. An event, the victims, and a time of death. Accurate to the second. It didn't make sense. How could this place even exist? Then I noticed something else. Something that made my stomach twist. Usernames. The authors of these prediction threads had names eerily similar to ones I'd used before. Handles I hadn't touched in years. Usernames from old gaming forums, abandoned Reddit accounts, even one from my first email address. At first, I laughed it off as coincidence. Maybe this was some creepy database project scraping public profiles. But as I scrolled deeper, the coincidences got harder to ignore. One post stood out. Thread title: July 15th, 1998, birth record. My hometown. I froze. That was my date of birth. My exact hometown. The post itself was short, just a few lines. Subject logged at 11:42 a.m. Male. Status observed. Cycle pending. I stared at that last line, cycle pending. Then, another update appeared beneath it, timestamp just now. Subject reconnected. Activity resumed. I didn't type anything. I didn't refresh the page. But it knew I was there. That was the moment I realized the forum wasn't static. It was alive. Each thread was updating in real time, auto-refreshing with new logs. I clicked another post, something about a car crash in Illinois, and watched as new lines appeared at the bottom. Witness connected. Archive updated. The timer from the first night didn't appear this time, but I swear I felt it counting down anyway. I tried to back out, but my browser froze again. The cursor turned into that cursed spinning wheel, and the page dimmed slightly, like a shadow had passed over it. Then, at the bottom of the screen, a notification popped up. New message, admin. I clicked it. It opened a small chat box. Plain white text on a black background. Admin, welcome back. Me, who is this? Admin, you already know. Then the chat closed on its own. I refreshed the homepage again, desperate for something, anything, to prove this was fake. But the list of threads had changed. Every single one had been replaced with a new title. My full name. Last seen 41 minutes and 9 seconds. And as I stared at it, the timestamp at the end began to count down. 41 minutes and 8 seconds. 41 minutes and 7 seconds. 41 minutes and 6 seconds. I slammed my laptop shut. When I opened it again, the forum was gone, replaced by a 404 not found page. But my cursor still moved on its own for half a second, twitching slightly toward the screen corner, like someone was still there, still watching. I yanked the Wi-Fi dongle out, heart pounding. For a while, I just sat there in silence. The hum of my old PC fan was the only sound in the room. Then, from my phone, lying face down beside me, came the familiar ding of a new notification. A message from an unknown number. It just said, "Cycle complete." By morning, I had convinced myself it was all explainable. There had to be a rational reason, some glitch in an archive database, maybe an art project, or a leftover ARG that still had a few working scripts. Sleep deprivation does things to your mind. That's what I told myself while I drank cold coffee and reopened my laptop. I needed to prove it was fake, because the alternative meant something was actively tracking me. I started simple, checking the page's source code. I've done a little programming, enough to read HTML and recognize patterns. When I pulled up the site's code, though, it didn't look like any structure I'd ever seen. The text was fragmented, whole chunks replaced with black bars, like classified files. Lines and lines of access restricted, index error, permission denied. It wasn't an error message. It was intentional redaction. That phrase, access restricted, showed up over and over, embedded between what looked like URLs that led nowhere. But when I hovered over one of them, my cursor flickered. For a split second, the link revealed an alternate address before vanishing. It didn't lead to a web page. It opened a text file. The document was titled visitor_logs.txt. Inside, I saw timestamps, IP fragments, and location data from users all over the world. The latest entry, though, froze me in place. User_1247 connected. My city. My ISP name. Observation active. I stared at that line for a long time, heart thudding in my chest. Okay, fine. So they'd scraped IP info. Still explainable. Some hackers use tracking scripts for fun. Maybe that's all this was, someone toying with strangers for kicks. But then I noticed a section marked comments. Each log had a short line of conversation beside it. At first, I thought it was code chatter between admins, but the tone was off. New one joined. Don't spook him yet. Let's see how long until he checks his camera. I scrolled further. Add this one to the archive. Already done. My mouth went dry. The timestamps of those messages matched exactly with the moment I clicked that original thread. That wasn't a script. Someone had been watching me in real time. I kept digging, desperate to understand. The deeper I went, the more encrypted directories I found. Folders labeled /hidden, /pending, /archive. Some were password locked. Others were open but filled with scrambled characters, like corrupted data. I copied a block of it into a decryption tool I found online, just to see what would happen. The result wasn't words, it was a string of coordinates. Latitude, longitude. I pasted them into Google Maps. The pin landed on a location a few miles outside my city. A fenced-off warehouse. I'd driven past it before. Always boarded up, always dark. That was when I stopped breathing normally. I tried to take screenshots, but the moment I hit print screen, the image file corrupted. A black rectangle replaced it with the words, "Unauthorized duplication detected." A new message popped up on the page, just like before. "Admin, you shouldn't be here." My hands shook as I typed back. "Me, who are you?" The reply came instantly. "Admin, someone who watches. Someone who records." I felt a chill crawl down my neck. "Me, this is illegal." "Admin, so is curiosity." Then the chat disappeared. The forum's homepage blinked once, then reloaded, revealing a new banner across the top. Archive expanding, one new entry added. Beneath it was a single new thread. No title, just my IP address. I didn't open it. I couldn't. But I swear, even after I closed my laptop, I could still hear the faint clicking sound of keys, typing somewhere else, mirroring mine, like someone was documenting every word I typed, every breath I took. I told myself again, it's a prank, it's just data, it's nothing. But every time I looked at the corner of my screen, that little green webcam light kept flickering, off, on, like it was agreeing with them. Recording, adding, archiving. I didn't open the site again for 2 days. Not because I'd lost interest, because I couldn't. Every time I even thought about typing the address, my hands went cold. My laptop sat closed on my desk like a bomb that might go off if I touched it wrong. But curiosity always wins. It's not bravery, not stupidity. It's hunger. A sick, obsessive need to know. So I went back. This time, the page loaded differently. The black background flickered twice, then stabilized. Same old format, minimal text, no banner. But there was something new at the bottom. A blinking cursor beside a single word. Message. It wasn't there before. I hesitated for a long time, then typed, "Who's running this site?" Nothing. For a full minute, the cursor blinked. Then words began to appear, one by one, like someone was typing them live. "You shouldn't have returned." I froze, then typed back, "Who are you?" There was a long pause. Then finally, root_0. The name looked familiar, like I'd seen it on an old hacking forum years ago. The kind of place that traded malware and exploits. Could it be the same person? Me. Why are you watching people? Root_0. Not people. Patterns. Me. Patterns of what? Root_0. Those who can't stop looking. My heart was pounding so loud it felt like it filled the room. Me. Is this some kind of ARG? A project? Just tell me. Root_0. It was. Once. Me. What does that mean? Root_0. It's not a game anymore. The cursor blinked, then continued. Root_0. They see you. They listen through the static. I tried to play it cool, typing fast. Me. Who are they? Root_0. The ones who built the archive. I don't have much time. Me. Then help me shut it down. Root_0. You can't shut down a mirror. That line stuck in my head. A mirror. Me. Why are you telling me this? Root_0. Because you're already in it. A wave of nausea hit me. Me. What do you mean in it? Root_0. Every time you load the site, it loads you back. Then silence. For a full 30 seconds, nothing moved. I started to wonder if they'd logged off, until new text appeared, softer, slower. Root_0. You're not the first. There were others. Me. What happened to them? Root_0. Look outside. I froze. It was night again. My room was dim except for the monitor's glow. For a moment, I considered it, actually going to the window, but something in my gut said don't. I typed instead. Me. I don't see anything. Root_0. You left your window open again. I swear to God, my blood turned to ice. My hands jerked toward the curtains, closed, but the window itself was cracked open by an inch. A soft breeze moved through, carrying the faint smell of rain. I hadn't opened it. I hadn't touched it. I yanked it shut, slammed the lock, and turned back to the screen. Me. How do you know that? No response. The cursor blinked once, twice. Then the chat box cleared itself entirely, line by line, like someone was erasing a whiteboard. Finally, a last message appeared, centered on the screen. Don't dig further. They like it when you dig. And then the page went black. Completely. No code. No text. Not even an error. Just empty, silent nothingness. I closed the laptop. My reflection stared back at me in the darkened screen. Eyes wide, pale, unblinking. And behind me, in the reflection's corner, something shifted, like a shadow pulling itself away from the open window. When I turned around, there was nothing there. But the window lock was open again. It started small, so small I almost convinced myself I imagined it. A flicker on my phone screen. A buzz from my laptop even though it was powered off. Little glitches you'd chalk up to software bugs or bad connections. Then they got worse. I was writing an email at work when my phone vibrated. No caller ID, just a text. It read, "Stop writing that." I blinked. It wasn't even something I'd sent. It was a draft, half a sentence I typed but hadn't finished. I deleted the email without thinking. My phone buzzed again. We already saw it. That's when my palms started to sweat. Later, sitting at my kitchen table, I opened my laptop to run a malware scan. The moment the screen lit up, the forum's homepage flashed for half a second. Black background, white text, then vanished, replaced by my normal desktop. I hadn't opened the browser. Notifications started arriving on my phone next, even in airplane mode. One by one, they stacked up, all from unknown, with no number. Archive updating. Stop deleting. Your reflection isn't yours. I threw the phone onto the couch and ran to the bathroom, needing to splash water on my face. But when I looked up at the mirror, my reflection lagged. Just a fraction of a second, but enough. My eyes blinked, and then my reflection blinked. I backed away so hard I hit the wall. My laptop chimed in the other room, soft and friendly, like it had received an email. When I went back, it was displaying a black box full of scrolling text. My typing history, search history, private notes, even lines I'd started writing in Word and deleted before saving. I unplugged it, yanked the battery, killed the power. The screen stayed on. I decided to go nuclear. Factory reset. Wipe everything. I booted into recovery mode and hit reset to factory settings. The bar reached 99%, then stopped. For a full minute, it hung there. Then a new message appeared across the screen. Reset complete. Welcome back. The desktop reloaded. Same black background, same white text. I slammed the lid shut. My heart was hammering so hard it hurt. That's when my phone buzzed again. I picked it up. No number. Just a single line. This isn't digital anymore. I dropped it like it burned me. From somewhere deep inside the apartment, I thought I heard a faint clicking sound, like someone typing, but muffled, coming through the walls. I whispered out loud to no one. It's just a glitch. My phone lit up on its own. No, it's not. I thought I was done looking. I told myself I wouldn't touch that site again, that closing the laptop, throwing my phone in a drawer, would somehow end it. But a compulsion, deeper than curiosity, dragged me back. Some part of me needed to see. I powered the laptop on, heart pounding. The screen flickered once, twice, and then, like a curtain being yanked aside, it opened not to my desktop but to a directory window I'd never seen before. Plain white background. No logo. Just a string of folders. /archive/. Inside were hundreds, no thousands of subfolders. Names, usernames, random strings of numbers. Dates, countries, some labeled with things like CamSync or voice capture. I hesitated, then clicked one at random. It was a man in Italy. His email drafts, his webcam footage, grainy video of him making coffee in his kitchen that morning, a recording of him talking to his wife on the phone. I shut it quickly, while rising in my throat. I clicked another folder. A teenage girl in Ohio. Clips from her phone camera she'd never posted anywhere. Audio of her singing off-key in the shower. Someone had been listening always. I scrolled through dozens. The same pattern. Surveillance logs of people all over the world, sliced into neat, clinical files. Timestamps. Transcriptions. Behavioral notes in the margins. My hand shook as I hovered over the search bar. I typed in my name. One result. It opened on a folder labeled /archive/user ####/live/. Inside at first were the things I expected. My old usernames, screenshots of posts I'd made years ago, blurry webcam stills from when I'd been up late gaming, emails, text messages, private journals. But as I scrolled down, something changed. The files stopped being old. They were current. The timestamps matched the clock on my laptop, down to the second. One file labeled 2025-10-06-21:33:17, the exact time showing on my screen, contained a still image of me sitting there, hunched over the laptop, eyes wide, just as I was now. Another labeled audio live began playing on its own. I heard breathing. My breathing. I scrolled faster. Each file updated as I watched, one after another, a live stream of myself. The next one showed me looking over my shoulder, just as I was looking over my shoulder. It was recording my movements in real time, stacking them into a folder like I was a character in some sick experiment. My heart climbed into my throat. At the bottom of the list was a new file, one I hadn't seen appear. /notes/behavioral assessment, subject 117394. Increasing awareness of archive. It opened automatically. A text file. Subject displays heightened paranoia. Attempts at deletion ineffective. Subject will escalate soon. I slammed the window closed, but it wouldn't close. More files kept spawning under /live/. My breathing turned into a high, thin whistle. And then, beneath all of it, a final folder appeared. It was blank at first, then filled with a single file labeled /outside/. I clicked it without thinking. The screen went black for a moment. Then a new video opened, a live feed of my apartment door. From the hallway, someone was standing just out of frame, breathing. The camera angle shifted slightly, like a head tilting. I whispered, "No, no, no." Another text file slid open on its own. "Do not look behind you." I froze. My cursor hovered uselessly over the screen. On the laptop clock, the seconds ticked forward. And with each second, another file appeared in my folder. Snapshots of my fear, archived forever. I don't remember when it clicked exactly. Maybe it was somewhere between the third and fourth live feed of my own face. Or maybe it was when the text files started finishing my sentences before I could. But a single thought began crawling through my skull, cold and heavy. This forum isn't predicting. It's writing. I sat there staring at the screen, scrolling back through my folder, through thousands of other people's. Every prediction I'd seen earlier, accidents, fights, breakups, weren't forecasts. They were seeds. Little sentences planted in unread threads. And then, hours or days later, they happened, like an echo that moved backward through time. I pulled up one of the earliest threads I'd clicked. "We know who's reading this." It had changed. Now beneath the countdown timer was another line. "The more you read, the more we reach." My stomach clenched. My cursor hovered over the X to close the browser, but my hand wouldn't move. A new notification slid across the screen. "Root_0 has sent you a message." I clicked it. Their text appeared almost instantly, each line firing off before I could type back. "You're still here. You've been feeding it. Stop reading the threads. They're feeding off you." I typed, "What are you talking about?" Another reply came, frantic, the typing dots never stopping. "It doesn't just watch. It grows stronger with every glance. Attention is currency. You've given it weeks of your life in minutes." I stared at the words. They blurred. It felt like my screen was breathing. I wrote, "Then tell me how to stop it." Root_0 paused for the first time. Then, "You can't. Not now. It's already writing you." I blinked. "Writing me," echoed in my head like a curse. And then the forum started to shift right in front of me. New threads popping up, line after line, scrolling too fast to read. But I caught glimpses. User is reaching for the keyboard. User is glancing at the door. User is thinking of closing the laptop. Each line matched me in real time, like a script printing out my every move. I typed stop. A new post appeared on the board. User typed stop. The hair on my arms lifted. It was narrating me. Root_0 sent one last message. "Don't say anything. Don't think anything. Just shut it." The message cut off. A final thread appeared at the top of the forum, flashing red. Subject has realized the truth. The timer below it began to count down. I hadn't clicked it yet, but I knew somehow I already had. I didn't wait to see what the timer would hit. I slammed the laptop shut so hard the hinge cracked, yanked the power cord from the wall, and ripped the router out with it. Sparks flew. The apartment went dead silent except for my breathing. No hum of electricity, no glow of screens, just the sound of my pulse hammering in my ears. I thought that would be enough. I thought if I cut it off, starved of power, it would fade. Then my phone lit up. No signal, no Wi-Fi, just one notification pulsing across the black screen. 0:04. The timer hadn't stopped. It had just moved somewhere else. I threw the phone onto the floor, but it didn't shatter. The display just kept flashing. 0:03. I turned to the laptop. It had turned itself back on. The screen split with static and white text. User attempting disconnection. Containment protocol engaged. "Stop it," I yelled, like that meant anything. I grabbed the laptop and hurled it at the wall. The plastic cracked, but the fan still whirred faintly. The display flickered once more. 002. The lights in my apartment began to buzz back on, one by one, like something had overridden the fuse box. I could hear my old desktop booting up in the next room. My TV flashed to life, showing nothing but that same black screen, with a ticking clock. 001. I pressed my hands over my ears. I didn't want to hear the next sound, whatever it was. Then everything stopped. The buzzing, the hum, even the clock, it froze mid-tick. A silence so heavy it felt like it had mass filled the room. The air went cold. My breath came out in pale ribbons. For a heartbeat, I thought maybe I'd broken it. Maybe I'd won. Then my broken laptop screen flared white. Upload complete. I stared at it, every muscle locked. The message pulsed once, twice, and then another line appeared beneath it. New thread created. Live footage, user number 2457. My mouth went dry. My throat clicked when I swallowed. The cursor blinked below the text, waiting, like it wanted me to reply. On instinct, I reached for the screen. And that's when the camera light, smashed in dead seconds ago, flicked on. A new tab opened automatically. I saw my face, reflected in low resolution, staring back at me. I tried to close it, but the cursor wouldn't move. My image on the screen smiled half a second after I did. Then the stream title updated itself, line by line, on every glowing device in the room. Live now, user number 2457. Do not close the window. My phone buzzed again, one final time. The message just said, "They're watching you. Don't make them wait." If you're hearing this, I need you to understand something. I didn't post this for views. I didn't even mean to post it at all. When I started recording, I just wanted proof. Something I could show someone, anyone, before it all got erased. But somewhere between exporting the audio and uploading it, it wasn't me doing it anymore. The file renamed itself. The thumbnail changed. And now here you are, watching it. I know how this sounds, another creepypasta, another lost tape. But it's not fiction. I've checked the metadata. The upload came from my account, but from a location that doesn't exist on any map. The coordinates lead to 0. I tried to delete it. I tried to log out. Every time I do, another copy appears. Different titles, different channels. The tags always include the same phrase. The archive expands. If you've made it this far, I need you to listen. Don't go looking for the forum. Don't try to find the threads. Don't even glitch, static bursts across the words. Search the name. It doesn't want to be found. It wants to find you. That's what root_0 was trying to tell me. Observation is infection. Every set of eyes gives it reach. Every click feeds it. So if this video ends, let it end. Don't replay it. Don't comment. Don't share theories. Because if you do, distortion deepens. The narrator's voice fragments, doubled, layered over itself. You'll see what I saw. You'll see your own folder. Static, then silence. A breath. I can feel it even now. In the pauses between my words. It's writing this as I speak. Updating the transcript. Adding you to the list. Please, don't scroll down. Don't check the description. It'll be there. I know it will. Screen flickers. Faint text appears beneath the narration, ghosting over the image. Forum name, archive_gateway. No, stop. The narrator's voice cuts out, replaced by faint typing noises. A final line fades in on the screen. New thread created. Viewer number 2468.